What up, fam? I had an encounter the other day that had me thinking a lot about how difficult it can be for we humans to make life transitions, and in particular, the way what we see as a possibility for the future is shaped by what we think is our applicable past. So, when we're considering ending a relationship, transitioning a relationship, say from what was a marriage to a healthy co parenting one, it can be really hard to get out of what we've seen and the stories we've told ourselves over time. So for me, ending my marriage and transitioning into what I wanted, a healthy co parenting relationship, seemed completely impossible. I was the child of multiple divorces that were cataclysmic and painful for everyone. And so the really hard work becomes exposing ourselves to new narratives, exposing ourselves to stories outside of our present milieu, outside of, in my case, just this church family I was a part of, and in which marriage is really the ultimate sacred cow and must be preserved as a good in and of itself, even if the relationship is not good for anyone involved. And in working in therapy and in exposing myself to those new stories, the most important practice that I've taken from that and that I pass on to my clients is challenging those stories actively. Coming up with the questions that will best suit us. And for me, those questions look like this. Every time I imagined something like the end of a relationship, it was this explosion that I'd seen in my own life. And it would be a question about, well, who are you, Jeff? Who is your co-parent? Well, you're imagining someone like your stepdad. You're imagining somebody like your mom or your dad. What are the ways that you're different from that person? What are the ways that your co-parent are different from that person? And in staying with that, we can develop a more gray story, less black and white, and more flexible. And if we stay curious over time, we can transition. We can build a better life where it doesn't end up black and white. It ends up gray, and it ends up life-giving. So I ask you, in those places where your story is really black and white, can you find the gray? And what questions will best suit you to find that gray?